to get you to interact with us so that we can build a better helping network and community. So how we're going to structure our presentation today is we'll start with our introduction. We'll then move to the board's objectives, the benefits of becoming a Bravo member, how to join, and then any questions you have, we'll open that up at the end. I'm going to encourage you all to write any questions you have on the notepad, and we'll come around and collect them, and that's how we'll do our question and answer period. So Bravo's introduction. Bravo stands for the Bermuda Rental Association of Vacation Home Owners. We were birthed from a BTA working group in 2018 when they sent out an invitation to all vacation owners on the island to come and collaborate, and from that's how we created our interim board. Now, we're not controlled by the BTA or the Bermuda government, although we may sometimes lean on them to use their resources such as their boardroom or their statistics. The board was created to be a helping network and not a regulatory or authoritative body. So we want to build a communication network so we can help each other with issues, as well as making each other aware of the benefits and advantages of helping each other. We want to foster a collaboration and not competition that stimulates a positive and forward-thinking community. Now, as I mentioned, we have an interim board executive, and all of the board members were selected on an interim basis to help steer the group until it became more formalized. Through that, we want to encourage a multidisciplinary members to join so that we can enhance the efficiency and the reach of the board. As you can see just below there, we have the interim board executive that is in transition. So after this, we want to encourage you all once again, as I said, to join so that we can enhance the efficiency of the board. Now, our Bravo's objectives. The first one is to promote and to represent the interests of all vacation rental property owners and the affiliates. Next, we'd like to leverage the association's overall buying power with various vendors and service providers. We'd also like to improve the level of quality and the level of service provided by vacation rental property owners through recommending a standardized industry quality. We'd also like to become a source of information, influence, and connection for vacation rental property owners. Through that, we would then like to facilitate access for vacation rental property owners to various hospitality certifications that are available. Yeah, so now Susan will present on the benefits of becoming a Bravo member.
Hi. It's very important to note that we are completely independent and autonomous from anything to do with the government or the BTA. Like I said, we use them for the resources, but it's important to know that we represent the vacation rental owners and the vacation rental managers, and that is our objective, is to create a large body that has one voice and has greater power than, I believe it's 600 vacation rentals. Kevin, do you know the number? About 600 vacation rentals. We're still waiting for the stats. That's a very powerful voice. It's a very strong voice, and we need to unite in order to make our voice heard on important issues. We also want to represent vacation rental owners and managers with the different vacation rental platforms. As you know, Airbnb is collecting the taxes, the government taxes on our behalf, but maybe we can work with government or lobby government to get some of the other platforms to also do the same and make our lives easier, and also maybe work with government on this monthly, possibly adjusting this monthly reporting to something that might be easier, or working with them to help the vacation rental owners understand all the rules and implications involved with that. We also want to create a community. This is not about competition. It's about giving each other a leg up. It's about giving each other a helping hand. It's about, well, when I started my Airbnb, this is what I learned the hard way. So, so sort of learning from other people's pain points along the way. And that's been very helpful. We've even learned from each other. And if we can learn from each other, imagine what 600 voices can learn collectively. One thing is definitely influence with suppliers. We've already been able to get a wonderful 10% from masters. And I'm not sure about you guys, but when you try to get the small soaps and you try to get the small shampoos and all that, that's not always an obvious thing to be able to get in Bermuda. So you can imagine 600 people working together, the kind of possible leverage that would give us with suppliers. Maybe they'll start bringing in things strictly for our business that would be very helpful. So again, the power is in the numbers. And And then collectively, we would like to create a best practice for the industry to make sure that there's a consistent quality, that the guests always get that 5-star Bermuda experience, that Bermuda quality. And that's something we would put together by reaching out to each other, just sort of what we think the best practices are. If guests come in on the late flight, on the late JetBlue flight, should we have some practices in place as to what there should be, should there be something in the fridge for them? Just some ideas and standard practice. But this is not a regulation. This is just best practice to give the best guest experience. Also, this is important, a support system for guests. Some sort of a database where, return Airbnb guests get acknowledged by the group somehow. So if this is their fourth or fifth Airbnb visit, maybe we put together something to acknowledge that, get their picture in the paper. Maybe we could work with the BTA on that. Just some acknowledgement that return vacation rental guests, a list of that we think would be helpful. And also, unfortunately, on the negative side, there has been some unfortunate situations that have happened over the summer that we've heard about, where there's some potential scams happening in the industry and happening in Bermuda. And we think it would be, it's important that other vacation rental owners and managers are aware of these so they can address them up front. So just put a list of the different things that are happening. And access to a database of guests. Again, unfortunately, there have been a few scams happening in vacation rentals. And sort of putting a list of guests that have proven to be potential challenges, and just to make sure that other vacation rental hosts and managers are aware, to sort of keep an eye out on these particular guests that they have potentially caused problems in the past.
So we're just going to, if anyone has any questions, are you going to just go and collect those up? But a couple of questions that we know have come up previous to this have been raised, and that is, how do I become a member of Bravo? We are a very new group, as Alicia has already said. So currently, we've put some papers out on the tables, and if you are able to just fill in the sign-up sheet, we're actually in process of creating our form. So if you can fill out your names and email addresses, at the end of the session we'll be collecting those in, and we'll send out an email to everybody with forms attached, and we would welcome members reaching out to us, or all of you reaching out to us, to create our new membership, because this is we tried, we actually have been meeting on a regular basis for the last few weeks, but obviously the summer season kicked in and we all got very busy. We were hoping to have this big launch over the summer, but that didn't happen, and this opportunity has come up today for us to make this launch today, which is great. So we're hoping that from today we will be able to reach out to you and beyond, and get this group moving now. So hopefully, with this in mind, we'll get moving. So the next, I think there was another question. Yep. Oh, and I know that one other question is, how much does it cost to join Bravo? Initially, we have decided that it won't cost anything to join Bravo. We want to get this membership moving, so we think that it's appropriate that there is no cost at the moment. So we want to get as many members in as we can. There might come a time in the future, and that actually will be a decision for all of you when everyone's members, that if we decide that we want to build up a fund, because we might start incurring costs if we want to start getting some publicity, marketing and things out there, then we might decide that it's appropriate to start charging a membership fee, but that's for another time. For right now, I think that we're going to keep the membership at a zero charge for now. So. Okay, Okay, so this question, what kind of tourism guides information are you providing for guests? Well, for right now, I know for myself, I am relying solely on the information that the BTA puts out, and I'm providing BTA-driven brochures. But once we have a membership, a growing membership, if there is other information that the membership decides that they want to produce and put out there, then obviously that's something for the future that we can work on. But again, that will be a cost, and so that might also be a time when we decide that we need to start creating some revenue. So any follow-on question from that? Right. Right. Thank you, Kevin. Yeah. Anything to add to that?
One more question here. We want to make this this part of the session very interactive, so I'll throw out some issues out there, and I'd love to get your feedback, and we'd love to sort of hear what some of the pain points are in vacation rentals, and some issues that being part of a vacation rental community would be able to assist you with. So what are the issues that have come up, potential scams that have come up that we've heard about this summer? One of them is people checking in with a greater number of guests than they've registered with. Who here has experienced that? Who here hasn't? Okay, so it's an issue, and if it's one extra person, that might easily be handled. But I think there was one case this summer where twice as many appeared, more than the number of beds, more than the number of rooms, and literally there was 2 taxis, and one taxi was waiting around the corner with the extra people. So that doesn't become an easy situation to handle, and that's where we would like to work with the community and come up with a list of how to handle it, how to get support. And when you're in that kind of situation and it's a hot day in July and you're trapped and you don't know what to do, it's, if you can contact us, we would say this is our step-by-step guide to how to approach that kind of a scenario. Another one that has happened, unfortunately, quite a few times in Bermuda has been the fake bed bug situation, where people stay 9 days out of 10. We heard of one story where someone had a mosquito bite, and they went to a pharmacist, and the pharmacist said that's absolutely not a bed bug, but they came back and said they had a certification from a doctor saying it was, and the person lost the host lost their entire week's stay because the platform sided with the guests. So that has happened a couple of times. So it's people trying, knowing that there's certain words. Again, I personally had a situation with a fake rodent. It never happened, but it was very convenient at the end of the thing. An hour before checkout, they said, "Oh, by the way, we just saw this," and they weren't able to prove anything. And luckily, the vacation platform sided with me because it was obviously a scam. But just to keep you aware that there's certain things out there. Like we said, 99.99% of our guests are completely wonderful, but there's that small percentage that maybe see a weakness in the system and are trying to take advantage. So anybody else have experiences like that they'd like to share to help? Yes.
Yeah. So guys, now I'll take the mic and you can pass it around the room so we can facilitate any questions, feedback, or comments from the entire audience. Thank you.
So as you know, I know, right? So as you know, there's tons of insects in Bermuda, and I think that's probably our only challenge in terms of wildlife. And a lot of guests, when they come on vacation, they're often outside barbecuing. They leave the doors open, especially in the evening time, and then they go in to go rest their head, and then all of a sudden they see this huge cockroach. Nobody likes cockroaches, right? So they're like, "Oh, it's an infestation." It's always something dramatic. So I know personally that one of my vacation homes that I manage has experienced that, where we've had to, speak with the guest or move them based on this one cockroach and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, that's that's a very common one.
I use that as a part of my introduction. If you leave the windows and the doors open, after I check you in, I tell them that we don't have any, but we do have lizards, we do have garden mice, and we do have roaches, and they fly. So if you don't want them to come in the house, close the doors, close the screens, and you'll be fine.
And you communicate that. You know, I have it in the welcome packages and everything, communicating all of that. But
So what I actually have is my own personal, but again, this is how you might look. In my, they have to sort of review certain things, and one of them is, we understand that we live in such a tropical climate, and that insects are a fact of life. Our places are very clean, so if you see your face, possibly see, I call it a palmetto bug, I think in the Florida language, tracking cockroach, ants, especially after a large rain. It has nothing to do with cleanliness, and it's part of the humidity, and part of our climate. And then I say, you can say, having to deal with a few insects is a small price to pay for living in such a beautiful place. And they have to say yes to that before they check in, so that it's already on the radar.
And how do you do that? You go to check it, so when you leave them, what do you do?
I send out a form, and that's one of the things they have to check on the form. No, I send it out through Google. I have a Google form that I've set up, yeah. But they just do a little tick mark, and then it goes there, and that automatically tells me. Yeah, I mean, if they don't do it, I resend as a reminder. It's not just that. It's what flight are you arriving on? What time are you arriving on? Do you want to ride from would you like to be picked up at the airport? All that. Oh, and by the way, we want to acknowledge two things, and that's one of the things we want them to acknowledge. It just puts it right at the forefront, and it just says, yes, we acknowledge that it's a subtropical climate and bugs are a fact of life. The other thing is we have a beach buggy, and not to take them down the cement stairs, because it doesn't end well. I've told them 100 times, but it's bing, 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 bing.
So these are exactly the type of conversations that we want Bravo to continue to foster. So just from Susan's example, we would be able to create a standardized form, hopefully, that could be distributed throughout the industry, so everyone would be able to use such a tool that she has. So another question that we have. Are vacation rental owners allowed to market and advertise outside of the online platforms? As far as I know, yes, you have full rights to advertise your vacation rental as you'd like to, whether that's on social media or whether Booking.com, Flipkey, Airbnb, whichever you choose.
Okay, here's one that's a personal concern of mine. The oversupply of vacation rental units, that's life, right? Supply and demand. And how will we increase demand on that? We don't have the resources. That's more of a Bermuda tourism, which I think they're doing a phenomenal job getting the word out there. One of the things about vacation rentals, it's your ratings. It's a self-governing thing. The ones that aren't up to standards will soon be out of business. The ones that should be in business will stay in business and will flourish. I do think the market will even out. One concern I've had this season compared to last season is I've seen prices drop significantly. And I don't know about you, my operating costs have not dropped. So the fact that our operating costs have gone up, and people, in order to get their bigger slice of the pie, are actually starting to undercut fellow hosts, and I think that's just a race to the bottom. I'm not just saying overcharge, I'm just saying, why would you charge less than last year if your operating costs have gone up? And that's something I want people to think about. People don't understand when they're costing their Airbnb unit that it includes the cost of repainting your roof, it includes your land tax. It's not just that, some people aren't working and they don't put a value on their hourly rate. They say, well, I'm not working, I clean the unit for 2 hours. Well, that time has a value. That time needs to be brought back. So I have seen that happen, and it is a personal concern that in some cases I've seen prices drop 10, 20% over the exact same unit last year, and I realize it's a supply and demand thing, but we're just hurting each other on that one. So the ones that are well taken care of and well managed will do well, and the ones that aren't will fall off the market. But right now, if the ones that aren't doing well are undercutting everyone else, then the model isn't working in the way that's in the best interest of all of us.
As a follow-up to that, you were saying that there are ones that will fall off because they're not rated well. My understanding is that Bermuda has the highest five-star rating of any country in the world. We have more five-star Airbnbs than anywhere else. So I don't see that supply-demand situation ever balancing out. And I know personally that I get emails from Airbnb all the time, telling me they've dropped my prices by $60 a night.
Yeah.
Which I personally.
Nobody follow that.
Algorithms.
That, do not.
Algorithms.
I ignore. But
Yeah.
we can see what's happening with the market, is that unless the BTA pushes vacation rentals as much as they push hotels, we're going to be in a situation where we're going to have very, very low and very low profitability.
I agree. No. Yeah. They make recommendations that aren't really for our market. I don't recommend using the Airbnb platform because I don't honestly believe it's based on Bermuda prices. It seems to be an algorithm that's designed on maybe the Caribbean or something, but it doesn't, it's not even remotely reflective of Bermuda prices. You set your own price based on what the market can bear, based on what your competitors are charging, and
But you can also set the smart pricing to a specific round. Like if you want smart pricing, you can set it, if you want the property anywhere from 150 to 250, you can set it between there. You don't have to just take their advice.
yeah. See, this is where the power of numbers comes in. The power of I just learned something there. I set my own prices, but the power of working with each other, and in this way, we improve each other. I understand that supply and demand is definitely an issue right now. I think we're on the bottom end of people adding Airbnbs. It's who finds Airbnb easy? It's easy. It's easy, but it's easy when it works. It's a lot of work, and some people go into the business thinking it's easy money. You just decorate it and people just log in and get their stuff. It's not, especially when you're giving that wonderful Bermuda hospitality that I know everyone here gives. That takes effort and it takes a lot of love. You have to love your guests, and if you don't love your guests, you're probably in the wrong business. If you're here just to make money, it's not going to end well. So I'm hoping that the market evens itself out, and Kevin's being very quiet about increasing. Maybe we could throw it to him about increasing what BTA is doing about increasing our vacation rental market.
Or awareness.
Awareness.
I'm loud enough. We're good. So that is good for everything. And people say, oh, well, the platform market for me, well, no, it doesn't. The platform has 160 different destinations on it, and your property doesn't stand out when other people are looking at the What we have piloted over the last year since we last met was actually our marketing partnership with Airbnb, where we work with them to promote Bermuda through their channels, both on social as well as developing Bermuda editorial that went into the Airbnb content mag, and so Bermuda stories went out on their social media our social media, as well as in their publication. And we started to think about where, when we're looking at or a journalist, where might it be better than they stay in a private house versus a hotel. So, for example, if we are bringing an active family down, it may be the case that actually, that family is going to fit better in a private house than they are in a hotel. So we've been doing that as well. So what it's hard for me to do is say, this is specifically for you. What I can point to are the examples of where we shifted both our talent and our approach to creating content to be inclusive of vacation.
Could I jump in for a second?
Absolutely.
I was wondering if you were talking about.
Hi, I'm Rachel Bloody. I actually work for Bermuda. And so I am a public policy associate covering the Caribbean and Bermuda, which I entertain now. So I just want to give actually a little bit of a plug for the BTA. And just to let you know that we have a real ally there. Our partnership with the BTA, they're meeting in 191 countries. That's a lot. It's a lot of partners. And as you might imagine, Bermuda is comparatively small when we have all these different partners across the world. And yet, our partnership with the BTA has been featured across the country because it has been so positive and so collaborative. As Kevin mentioned, we have this marketing campaign. It was on digital, social, earned media, paid media. There's a lot of coverage, and obviously, Airbnb has an interest in that featuring specifically Airbnb. And so that is short-term rental. That is also, I don't know if your organization will be getting into this at all, but that is also featuring the experiences that launched here in Bermuda, which have really helped the island distinguish itself and feature a lot of the cultural benefits that the island has to offer. And it was very attractive to that more experiential traveler who might be wanting to stay in a vacation. So I just want to say BTA has been a great partner, and it's really wonderful that you are all working together to offer these best practices. I love what I'm hearing up here. This is like doing my job for me. And so just know that as you develop your plans, you have a really positive working relationship with Kevin and his team. So I'm excited to do that.
Andrew, did you want to address
I just want to quickly, oh, by the way, I'm sorry, my name is Andrea Brown. I am a vacation rental manager and owner, and it's an honor to be here with my esteemed colleagues. I just wanted to address the point that the gentleman over there made with respect to reviews. I think that from an economic standpoint, I get it. Demand and supply run hand in hand. I will say, however, that the strongest will survive. Those that are in the market because it's an opportunity to make money because the rental market is flat and they don't have the money with which to upgrade their apartments, to bring them up to vacation rental standard. They're in the market. But I can tell you that they're not going to remain in the market. The vacation rental business has set a standard for us as managers and owners that is unlike the hotel industry. In order for us to compete with the hotel industry, and believe it or not, we actually are competing with them. We are a source of concern for the hotel industry. We have to be better than best. We have to provide the best service. We have to treat our guests like they are living in our house, and they are for the most part. And so leaving them to their own devices, saying thank you very much for the reservation, and then you don't see them again until you remind them that checkout is at 11 o'clock, won't work for the Airbnb property. They want you to talk to them about experiences. They want you to provide them with a Bermuda sweetie, whether it's cookies or whatever we prepare. They want to talk to you. They want to meet you. I've actually had guests say, when am I going to meet you? I think, when are you going to meet me? You don't need to meet me. Are you having a great time? You don't need to see me. But no, they want to see you. They want to shake your hand. They want to talk to you about Bermuda. They want suggestions from you of where to go, when to go, and so on and so on. So we make that emotional connection. And it's that emotional connection that makes a difference between the person who's in this for the long haul, for the longevity, and the person who's in there because they just want to make a quick buck this month, because they want to travel next month or whatever. That will come to an end. And for those of us, as I said, that are committed to it, you'll be there and you'll be successful in the long term.
Hi, so my name's Anna Gaffney. I'm the Director of Sales over at the Lauren. So we have 3 different products at the Lauren. We have the hotel, we have our villas, and then we have the residence, the mansion. If you get into the attitude that the hotel is your competition and your enemy, it's not going to work. So I am based in New York City, born and raised in New York, but I lived here on the island for 18 months. And in New York, Airbnb was the enemy when we first started for the hotels. And I was working at a hotel that had apartments. And I said to my owner, Airbnb, this was almost 10 years ago, I said to my owner, Airbnb is going to be the new Expedia. I said, and if we keep treating them like the enemy, we're going to lose. And if you can't beat them, join them. And I would say to this group, and I'm loving that it's 90% women, and that you're starting this organization and you're running your own businesses, follow the example of the hotels and partner with us and revenue manage. That's a new word, hopefully, for all of you, where you really are talking to each other. Because just like the hotels, there's so many different levels of product. So you have the Lauren, and then and that's the beauty of Bermuda, is there's a price point, and there's a customer for every level of hotel. Same thing with the Airbnb. You will find that as well. You're going to have your $90 price points, and you're going to have your $500 price points, and you're going to have your $15,000 price points. I'm listed on Airbnb through Luxury Retreats. So that's where you can pick our brains as well. Where should we list our place? And then, so make this committee, but be inclusive. Include the hotels, because we're not your competition. And we have product that is going to be on Airbnb, but it's of a different level. And that's where you got to, so pick our brains, like use us. We're not the enemy.
Hi there. I was just going to add in a different way to say, focus on the visitors, because we know that you are getting active families and you're getting experienced enthusiasts, and they are looking to be in Airbnbs or vacation rentals. They're looking for those experiences. My son would come, he wouldn't talk to it, look to think to be in a hotel, but he's looking for a different experience, and he's young, and he might be coming with 2 friends, hopefully not double, but 2 or 3 friends. So I would say that, we know that the numbers of people, visitors that are coming, those segments, is active families and those experienced seekers. So think about that. Think about the segments of people and visitors who are coming and how we sort of drive that. And then the second point I wanted to make is you might consider at some point, maybe not right away, but in the future, I was recently traveling for business, and I know that the Vacation Rental Association in that particular market had a designation, Bravo if you want, and they put those in the windows. And I know that when I was looking for those members that were part of that association, because that said to me that they were talking to each other, that they had a level of standard that they were doing, and then people could say, I'm a proud member of the association. So what a great way to think towards putting yourselves to be able to say, I'm a proud member of Bravo, and we've talked to each other, we're having a standard. So that might be something you consider going forward.
That's what we're thinking about, a best practice, a cleanliness checklist, a standardized cleanliness checklist. But again, this is something we want the community to help us come up. We're just vacation rental owners also. We want to work together, come up with a sort of a unified voice of a standard.
I would certainly encourage you very strongly in that direction. So working with, actually, friends at Airbnb But I would say as part of that, I would also encourage you as a group to think about the role of fair housing in that. Because I think actually at this point, your biggest existential threat is not the hotelier, it is actually the folks that believe that you are pricing other remaining assets. And the reality of Bermuda's housing market is, hashtag it's complicated because our building costs are high and home ownership costs are high, therefore rents are high. I don't believe that the people in this room are driving rents up. In fact, we know from the last census there were 3,000 empty housing units in Bermuda. So there's not a shortage of built infrastructure, but the market is distorted, and you're getting a lot of the blame for that. And so I think thinking about how through appropriate policies and saying the right things,
So addressing that issue.
exactly how you intervene in that conversation will be important to shaping what government does next, or doesn't.